And if they find that the party is not going along their line, they say, sorry, I can't be involved in that. They get involved in anything. They seem to have no moral minimum. Whatever happens, they always find a new law. Now you are taking away a man's business that he paid $4 million to the government back in 2019, and the government won't pay him back at the same value, the same price that he paid back in 2019. Why everything gonna? Why are they doing this to this man? Why are they trying to destroy business in Barbados? I don't know that this Barbados party have any successful business people in it. Look in the entire House of Assembly and tell me successful businessmen they got. They ain't got none. All they have are people who, when they're out of power, can't find work. They're not business
Yes.
people. They don't know anything about business, but all of a sudden they become experts. And
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
they have the power of the state, they can go and abuse abuse people's rights and take it away. And let me tell you something. It is not a public purpose. And I am going to challenge that if Mr. Kent goes to court, one of these courts will find a way to call it a public purpose because the court has been stacked with political people. Our court in Barbados have been stacked with political people.
Corruption,
So
corruption all the
you are
way.
not going to get justice. You're not going to get justice in Barbados because this party that is in power now has destroyed everything that we hold dear. And when you destroy the judiciary, now you're destroying business. All roads end up leading to them. If you want a job, you're gonna go to them. If you want a loan, you're gonna go to them. Everything is them because they somehow feel like they're our masters.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They just wake up.
We
But
have
if
to
you don't
wake
wake
up.
up,
Wake up. Yeah.
if you do not wake up, you will find yourself in duck's gut. Mind you, duck's guts you don't stop there long because it's come out really fast, but it's come out as something else.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me. Do not let Mr. Kinch suffer like this because he's a white man. And you know all these white people are saying, because how many people I'm saying Lord Black. Then I might come from my little 2 by 3 and take that off for me too instead of one car park here.
Yes.
Government is not supposed to be getting into the market like this and abusing its authority for its friends. If this happened in England, heads would roll. And Barbados, nothing rolls, not certainly not heads, because
Yeah.
we have a parity, not necessarily a system of Westminster system of government. We have a parity of the Westminster system of government, and we pretend that we have a parliamentary system in place. No, we don't. Because none of the checks and balances, look at the checks and balances you call the Auditor General. Anybody pay any money? Nothing works in Barbados.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing
Mm-hmm.
works.
Yeah. We have here with us Jamal from Bar Cutters of Savvy on the Bay. And I just want to welcome him to the show. Welcome, Jamal.
Hey, what's going on?
Good
Uh,
night.
good
Hey,
night,
good night, good
sir.
night, good night. Yeah,
Jamal,
man.
it's a pleasure having you here tonight. Are you one of the entrepreneurs there at Savvy on the Bay?
Yeah, definitely. We were actually the first to go down there at Savvy when Mr. Kinch actually invited us. I never met Alan before that, but since I've met him, I interacted with him. He was being very nice and been very generous to us. How I got there is I was actually looking for a new spot for my trailer. We were in Six
Mm-hmm.
Roads at the time, and it wasn't really working out in Six Roads. It was just the logistics of going all the way to St. Philip. Our base is in the Bayland, and I was talking to Terry. We were doing BMX, and I was talking to Terry from Terry's food truck. And he told me, "Man, why you don't check out Kinch place? Kinch no building some place but you." I said, "Building some place but me." Man, I said, "But the traffic lights." So I was like, "Oh, I saw the construction. I go and check it out." And he said, "Well, just go out down there and ask for Alan Kinch, and you should be fine." So I
Mm-hmm.
went down there and asked for Alan Kinch. I met him, and he said he has a lot of people that want spots, but they aren't ready. I told him, "Are you ready?" I said, "You ready?" I said, "Yeah, you ready?" So next week, Bar Cutters was there. It was still a full construction site. It wasn't still bobcats moving, workmen there. And we were there before a trailer. I mean, that was even before there was actually actual electricity there. We were there with our generator,
Wow.
and we were just, and from there, Mr. Kinch was just very generous and very understanding with us, and he just really has the vendors in mind for his vision. So every step that we've made up there, Alan Kinch has been there to assist the vendors. So I
Assist.
can't say, yeah, I can't say anything bad about him for sure. He's been very
Yeah,
helpful for
yeah.
us.
And how has business been there for you
Yeah.
since you started?
Business is fantastic. The thing is,
Wow.
when we first started, because a lot of they just didn't know about it. The first like 4 months, they didn't pay a cent in rent. When he got electricity, they didn't pay a cent in electricity, no water, no nothing. He was just
Wow.
covering everything until it got to a certain way. Then he
So
said,
hold
"Okay,
a
Jamal,
minute.
we get the collection."
So Mr. Kinch, this is a man. We're listening here, Caswell. This is a man that the government is deciding that they're going to draw him over the coals. This is a man that is giving, doing what the government's supposed to do,
Yeah,
Yeah.
facilitating
yeah,
small
he
business owners.
yeah, and
Yeah,
it's funny that you should say that because government has tried and failed many times to do what he is actually doing right now. I mean, just to see at the Eagle Hall Market, um, the 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 spot there at the by Spring Garden, along Spring Garden that Barvin is doing. There's a lot of times that Pelican Village is another one that government has tried to bring entrepreneurs together and they have failed miserably.
hmm,
And Alan Kinch has just come and just everything just fallen into place because it isn't as Caswell would have said, this isn't politicized. He actually brought vendors who know what they're doing, who are experienced. There's bar cutters there, there's Terry's food truck there, Akitri down there. I mean, there are
mm,
people that actually know what they are doing. So it's not a situation where my cousin or this constituent or that constituent or this body niece or this body godson want a stall and them come there, them ain't paying the rent, them ain't doing what they're supposed to do. A bunch of people hanging around, doing whatever. It is people that are actually about business, and we get down to savvy, we get down to business, and everyone loves it. So when you
yeah.
bring people that know what they're doing and people that are serious about what is not a handout that we got, is an opportunity to build something. And I cannot say anything
Mm,
bad about it. So when you could see where that area was. I am not originally from the Bayland, but I've been in this area for the last 20 years. And when you could hear the AG talking about, oh, he want to give back the land to the Bajans, and there have been generations of Barbadians have been using this land for years and years. It was like it literally a 2 foot track. The width was 2 feet leading out to the beach. On each side was bush, illegal dumping, mosquitoes breeding, rats breeding. The building that was there was filled with garbage. It was just a mess. It was not anything to be proud of. It was just a track that people used to walk through to get to the beach. It wasn't an area that you could stop and lime at. So when
mhm.
the AG comes out and he says this, he wants to give it back to Barbadians, and it's not right what Mr. Kinch did. What was it that was there? It was a gravel track that people just used to pass through. It was nothing to stay at. It was nothing to line by. You can't go out there at night. How Savvy is set up is a 24-hour location now. So you could actually go there and be safe. You could go on the beach and feel safe because there's always activity there. So for the government to just come and try to manipulate Bajans with this foolishness, but they want to give it back to the generations of Bajans that were using it. People were not using it. Not how he wants to put it. It was a track that people just go down to the beach. And right now, the beach access is, I would say, about 20 times wider. There is a full beach. You could access the beach from the main access, which is basically a 2 lane road, and then there is you could access the beach actually from walking through Savvy. And the thing is about it, there is no place on Bay Street. I ain't even gonna say Barbados on that Bay Street stretch that is more accessible to Barbadians than Savvy. No place. I don't want to call the names, but if you know the places on the Bay Street stretch, there is no place that is more accessible to Barbadians than Savvy on the Bay. Not even the bathrooms at Browns Beach, which get locked after a certain time, get
Mm-hmm.
locked after 6 o'clock or something like that. You barely can in on the
Correct.
beach. You can't run up on Browns Beach. Savvy's the bathroom is always open. It's a 24-hour location, so you can actually access the bar. You can access the facilities 24 hours. The vendors have the option to open 24 hours as well, but we don't have the facilities or the resources to do that. Most of us, the guys that go late, we shut at around 3 o'clock, and that is fine by us. A lot of agents love that there. So from the concept of it, when Alan first told me it's 24 hours, I was like, "You sure?" But they say you could do it. And I say, "Yeah, man, I got it covered," and it is working. I was pleasantly surprised how quickly Bajans accepted it and just adjust. I said, "Wow, this is fantastic." And they just and this has it doesn't even have anything to do with the tourists who are coming in, because I was told that there are actually 9 ships that are slated to come down to Savi. Last year we had 3 ships that had their staff parties at Savi,
Ah, wow.
and it is something that is growing. So why would you just come along and bulldoze a place that has all this potential? You gonna come and push it down to build a car park that no one asks for. Bajans don't care about car parks. We just park on the road and block up the place, and vans is vans is gonna block up the road up. Bajans don't complain about car parks. Kensington
Jamal,
was built before a car park. People park along the highways. No one cares. We don't care about car parks.
Jamal, you said something earlier, and I wanted you to repeat it because I want everybody, because some people might have missed it. You said that when you first went down there was no rent, there was no
It was not
water.
right now. Not for the first 4 months.
Tell me about that.
Or the
Because people feel that but so he's more developmental than
Yeah,
the
he
government.
actually gave us an opportunity to
Wow.
just run our route until he actually got the place to a certain level, and didn't and even though I mean there was a couple, well, I made a couple because I invested in another I made another investment that wasn't really working out, so it was a little late on my rent. Alan didn't come knocking down my door and pressuring me or anything like that. Therefore, he was like, "It was alright, no problem. It would just pay the rent next month." He is a very easygoing guy, actually. Right? When you really meet him, he isn't like thing I would call it. He was a gentleman. So thus
But
far, he has been very accommodating. I even heard that he actually gave loans to assist some of the vendors to help with their builds, because me, I always have my trailer. I have my trailer. Our trailer was built in 2016. We got that paid off in about a couple of years. So my trailer is mine. So I just had to park it and just leave it there. But other people had to actually build from scratch. You will see Jordan English with Taco Dan. He had to build his structure. Sticks had to build their structure. Aki Tree had to build theirs. So Tapanaki had to build theirs as well. So Alan actually gave people some loans to assist with their builds. So that is something again was something that government should be doing. And unfortunately, as a small businessman, I was operating in Barbados. This is next year gonna be 10 years that I've had bar cutters. And to be honest, getting things from government is usually very difficult. The whole Savvy was actually built, and that's why I'm afraid of government coming and taking over, because I heard some rumors where, or they don't want to move us, they just want to get the land from Ireland, but we could continue with doing what we are doing. The
that
problem
is
with
what I,
that is
that
that
is what
government
I
is
heard.
the
That is
problem
what I
with that is
heard.
government is so bad at running things that I am not comfortable with that, because they run things into the ground. Again, Pelican Village is a fantastic example, a place with so much potential, and they just can't get it right. I don't want to be a situation where this person coming in and that person coming in, and even with Savvy, there was a point in time where we were still figuring out the location. So it's like a divide. So there is the part for the events, and there's a part where the vendors are. We were doing like events for the vendors. We were doing like karaoke, and we were doing like different it's the salsa dancers coming because we try to have the events every night. And what happened was that the event side was our event. So we said, man, we told Alan, this isn't really working out. This divide. People gonna walk too far to the bar, gonna walk too far for food. You gotta build a stage over here. If we told Alan that on the Friday, the Monday he was measuring up for the stage, but the next Friday the stage is done. The stage was done. If this was government that was running the same stage that you will see in like the videos, and you go down to Savvy as soon as you walk in on your right hand side, that stage is what was built in basically a week. If that was government, you gotta write a letter to this body, you gotta do a proposal to that body, you gotta wait till next year budget, you gotta do that. Something was done in a week. So that kind of listening to is not anything political. We told him you need a stage, he got a stage put in. It was as simple as that. So it isn't anything for me. I could tell you, I'm not trying to promote Savvy or anything, but I've been a lot of places in Barbados. I've been in Six Roads. I've been in Rendezvous. I've been in Rockley. I've been on Robert Street, Culloden Road. My trailer has been a lot of places in Barbados and Savvy, where it comes to the actual comfort of my customers and the business side of it. Savvy is the best location that I've ever been in. And I don't say that lightly because I know what it is to build a business from nothing. And I know what it is to really get people coming to a business. I know how difficult that is, especially a place that you don't know. It started in 2014 in Dunlow Lane. People didn't even know where Dunlow Lane was. I was selling outside, out of a side door in a house. And I know how difficult it is. I know what it is to sit down, sell one ham cutter, and then sit down and watch a whole movie before the second ham cutter sells. I know what it is to build.
Yes.
So what we get here from Savvy is you have a place that they're actually pushing on their own. They're not just letting you sit down, letting the vendors sit down and just look at each other. They're actually doing their own marketing and what's not, and bringing people in and doing and getting the word out. I don't know anything about negotiating with cruise ship owners or anything like that. They actually went out there and did all of that. So that's how they were able to get the Mine Chief 1 and 2 and the other cruise ships to have their staff parties by us. So it was a lot of things that they are doing in the background to help push and elevate the place. So all of that, I just said that just leave Savvy alone is something that is good for Barbados. It's good for Bajans. It's something that is good for these small businesses that are there. And for you to move Savvy to build a parking lot that literally nobody asked for, that's a travesty. And you really have to look into that. As Caswell says, the only thing you could only really chalk it up to some kind of corruption because it's why are you doing this? It's like, and then there is the article that they said they want him to revert the building. I don't know if they call it restore or unrestore, de-restore. You revert the building back to its dilapidated state. And I was like, that sounds like a joke. I spoke to a lady on Sunday who called me, and she said she had to leave home and go and buy a newspaper to see and make sure that this was not a joke. And this is an experienced lady. She's a make sport lady. She said she had to see for herself that this was not a joke because it sounds, as Caswell said, it sounds like a parody. It sounds like a spoof. Why would you want to take a building that was an eyesore? This building was a rat mess. This building was full of garbage, mattresses. I don't know who was sleeping in there. I don't know if it was a hotel for the paroles or what, but it was a rat nest. It was mosquitoes breeding in there. It was all kind of foolishness happening in there at night. It was not safe for Barbadians to go out there at night. You can talk about it's a park. It wasn't safe to park out there. You don't know who could be hiding or what could be hiding in the bush. So it was not a safe place. So for them to be talking about they want to give it back to the Barbadians who were using it, and there was nothing that was taken away. There's still full access to the beach. You could tackle, you could park in there. The only thing is because there's this, what we do on the weekends is it is a Savvy voucher, because the parking originally was just you could just come in and park, but because our neighbors, and again I'm not calling any names, kept having events and sending all their patrons to park at Savvy and filling up the parking lot, and then the actual patrons who doing business with Savvy could not park. We actually started doing a Savvy voucher, so you have to pay $20, and that you'll get a voucher, and that $20 is redeemable at all the vendors at the bar. What's not? It's not you paying for parking, but it's just ensuring that the persons on weekends where our neighbors have big events, so that everybody that paying that coming into Savvy actually doing business with Savvy. So that is the main thing that we doing right now. But
I don't understand. I don't understand.
yeah,
Marcia, this is what's happening.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Savvy was developed for Bajans.
correct.
Yes. That's what
Correct.
I'm realizing. I'm realizing that.
This place is too good for Bajans. You see,
Mm.
the neighbors that you don't want to call, I ain't gonna call them either, but their businesses run Bajans.
Mm-hmm.
If you're black and you get on them places and you don't look bad, you don't look bad, you look Bajan, they're trying to better put you out or want get those boxes to throw you out. So they want this government is encouraging that type of behavior. Kids, on the other hand, and it's smart because the tourists ain't gonna be here all the time. But
Mm-hmm.
Bajans will be here all the time. So when the tourists are not coming, like when during COVID, you will still get Bajan customers. So he has a better concept than the other people that don't work who only want Bajan, only want tourists. You see? But let me tell you something. I read that thing with the center which return the thing to its state. They can go and get body powers too. Because
I asked Alan if you want me to go urinate in the corner to really get the smell going how it was before.
Oh,
I asked him if you want me to go and help out,
you know,
because it does not make any sense.
no, Del Marshall, he is going to return it to the people. Ask about the development in St. Joseph that he ain't trying to get returned to people.
I thought about that. Yes,
Ask
I
him
thought
about
about that.
Ask him about that.
Mm-hmm.
This is a bunch of hypocrisy. They want to come now and play the race card and the get back to the people bit so people will go up against Mr. Kinch. And Kinch is there doing more for the people and entrepreneurs in this country than they are doing. They set up a lot of finance organizations and lend the money to their friends and that don't get paid back. Now you got a man with a social conscience helping poor black people because Jamal is not you the rich.
No, I'm not. I am not.
Okay.
I am far from.
So he helping the poor black man, but no, they don't want anybody else to help the poor black man but them, and they want to help their own poor black people. They don't want you to be.
But the
You
thing
want to
is,
be committed to the Barbers Democratic Party, so that they will give you your handout and say they don't want coming from anybody else. They want everything to be handed down from the Queen on high. Mayor Kears.
but Caswell, the thing is, I just want to add to your point where the government should actually be thanking Mr. Kinch for what he's doing, because Savvy was done. That building was restored, and not a cent came from the treasury. Not 1 cent came from the treasury to restore that building, to build Savvy. Nothing. And that is a space, I'm glad that you said it and not me. That is a place for Barbadians to come and hang out, to come and lime, to come and relax on a Sunday. And not 1 cent came from the Barbadian taxpayers to pay for Savvy. Like a lot of the other projects where it will cost $1 million, and then the budget, when you see the Auditor General, as you mentioned, $100 million or more disappear. Nobody can account for it. Nobody can say. Not 1 cent came from the taxpayers to pay for Savvy, and Savvy is a gift to Barbadians, and something that is still building. Because I mean, there is still more that Mr. Kinch that I am not privy to speak about that he has. There's some more ideas that he has in the pipeline, but again, this was a gift to Barbadians. And for the AG to be out there saying that he wants to give it back to Barbadians, it was never taken away from Barbadians. It was actually enhanced. This was
Agreed.
a bush track that was not safe at night. You could not, if you look at the photos that we posted some photos, there's a video that's circulating where the, the AGs talk about some things are priceless. What is priceless? The garbage, the rats, that was priceless. I know there is no cost to Paros, so that's probably is priceless. There is no cost to the vagrants that were sleeping in the place. That's no history. And people talking about is a person, because again, there are persons who would always be on both sides of it. But there are persons coming to me to say that the building is from the Barbados Trust, the historical trust. And my thing is like, trust, were you trusting? There's no trustees. The building was musty. There was not a trustee. The building, that was nothing to be proud of. That is no history. That is not the Colosseum in Rome. This was an old building that Paros used to go and live in and burn down, similar to what they do to the buildings across the road, where there are like 30 or so buildings that stretch from Bay Street all the way to the roundabout with Purity. Those buildings are frequented by vagabonds and Paros and vagrants and people that are really up to no good running down the place. This is not a history to take anybody on a tour of. Like what you can show people the garbage there in the corner. We can show people what you get, what is the value in that. So my thing is what Alan Kinch did for Barbados. I mean, at the end of the day, he's a businessman, so he's still looking to he has his bar and he's doing different things and what's not. He's still a businessman. He has to earn money and what's not. But my thing is, it is a place that is open to Barbadians and you can go and use it freely. It's not a situation where people rushing you to leave as soon as you get there, people looking at you and what's not. You could just come, you could sit down, you could enjoy the amenities. If you feel like you go there in a day, you could go and rent a beach chair and you could just hang out. And that's all it's about. That's what it's about. So for the AG to come and say that he didn't get permission to do it, why is it that Barbadians have to go down this line? Again, Caswell was saying about the court system. How the court system is, as Caswell said, bought and paid for. The same thing is happening in town and country planning. The same thing is happening in the Fair Trading Commission, where these entities that are supposed to have Barbadians at the forefront have been politicized. So when you, as a businessman, have a project that you want to get off the ground, you bought land for $4 million, using Savvy as the example, and you want to develop it. And you send them proposal after proposal after proposal after proposal, and they keep on shutting you down. Like, what is the purpose of buying the land? To cut the grass? What is the purpose of buying land? You buy land, especially beachfront property, to develop it. So why did they sell? They sold him the land. According to the AG, they could not stop the sale. But when they can't stop the sale, what has Alan Kinch done with the land? He has developed it and he has given it freely to Barbadians. Why are you going to stop him from doing that? What is the point of it?
Excuse me, I want to say something. If the AG said they cannot stop the sale, that was absolute rubbish. I can tell you why. My own family, my brother was about to purchase land from the Anglican Church in St. Thomas in Rock Hall. The government stopped that sale and took the land to do what they call the Rock Hall Freedom Village, which, by the way, is not in Rock Hall. It's on the Glebe, St. Thomas, but they don't know that. They come up there with Russian with their nonsense history. So they can stop anything. Government can do anything that they want to do, especially a government that got all 30 seats. So don't tell me that the government can stop the sale. Government could have acquired it if they wanted to. No, somebody have expressed an interest in this property and they want to take it out for their friends. That is all that it is. I tell everybody, anytime you hear the AG talking,